Hello, friends. After a couple weeks of sharing my meditations with you in written form, I thought I would take advantage of this beautiful late summer morning to share this week's meditation in video form. This week's gospel lesson from the Gospel of Luke features Jesus at a table. He has been invited to a meal at the home of one of the Pharisees, and Jesus, at this point in Luke's gospel, has developed a little bit of a reputation for not conforming to social expectations around table manners, especially those having to do with who gets invited to the table. As far as Jesus is concerned, everyone gets invited to the table, maybe especially those who are normally not invited. He dines with tax collectors. He shares meals with sinners. And so at this particular meal, Luke tells us that the gathered guests, presumably all people of high social standing, are watching him closely, waiting to see what he will do next. And Jesus does not disappoint. He offers a teaching on hospitality and humility that ends with this. When you give a luncheon or a dinner, do not invite your friends or your brothers or your relatives or rich neighbors in case they may invite you in return and you would be repaid. But when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind, and you will be blessed because they cannot repay you. The poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind, those are people who were specifically and explicitly excluded from full participation in community life in those days. And so Jesus points to them and says, invite them, those who cannot repay you. A kindness that cannot be repaid. What Jesus is pointing to here is agape love, the kind of love he embodies, the unearned love of God that embraces each of us and that changes our lives. And my invitation to you this week is very simply to reflect upon your own encounters with that kind of love, with that kind of unearned kindness. Where have you felt it in your own life? What moments of receiving a kindness you didn't earn or a welcome you didn't expect come to mind as you consider Jesus's words? What did it feel like to receive that kind of welcome or kindness or love? Where do you see that kind of love or kindness bubbling up in this community or in the world? I'd love to hear what comes to mind if you're of a mind to share. And here's a blessing by Jan Richardson to accompany your reflecting. And the table will be wide, and the welcome will be wide, and the arms will open wide to gather us in, and our hearts will open wide to receive. And we will come as children who trust there is enough, and we will come unhindered and free, and our aching will be met with bread, and our sorrow will be met with wine. And we will open our hands to the feast without shame, and we will turn toward each other without fear, and we will give up our appetite for despair, and we will taste and know of delight, and we will become bread for a hungering world, and we will become drink for those who thirst, and the blessed will become the blessing, and everywhere will be the feast. And may it be so. Amen.